So energy has different dimensions to it. There's physical energy, there's subtle energy, and there's primal energy. And so the fundamental building blocks of the universe is conscious energy. In the tradition of Shaivism, we call this Shakti. And this Shakti begins to contract itself in stages and become a kind of a subtle energy. Think of the thoughts that we have, the emotions that we have, all the experiences of the inner world as the subtle expression of this universal consciousness. In the physical reality, we have physical energy. We can burn coal or burn logs or create energy through electricity. This is the physical expression of a more subtle energy, and ultimately at the root of all of this energy is pure consciousness itself. It's prakasha and it's vimarsha. It's the light of being. The fundamental building blocks of the universe is Shakti. It's the light of being itself as well as the awareness of that being. So this is the fundamental energy, the fundamental building blocks of the physical forms. So the physical forms are simply the outward expression that this inner consciousness takes to manifest the experience of a physical universe. So the ancient scriptures talk about the inner self, the fundamental being, as prakasha, as the light of being. The tradition of Shaivism says that this light is conscious of itself, it's self-aware. So here I'm in a studio and there are physical lights. So you could say this light is prakasha, it's light, but it's not aware that it's light. So prakasha is the light of being, vimarsha is the awareness of that being. And the awareness is said to be Satchidananda, meaning it's consciousness, it's being, and the experience is bliss of love itself. Prakasha is the light of being. It's this light that gives rise to all of creation. Vimarsha is self-awareness. I'm the light of being and I'm aware. I'm self-aware that I exist. This exists at a macrocosmic level. The Supreme Consciousness exists, has awareness of existence, and at the human level, I exist, I'm aware that I exist. And there's no fundamental difference between the self of the individual as the consciousness of the Supreme Being. Like a drop in the ocean. One drop is part of the ocean, you can see it from that perspective, but it's no difference in quality from the entire unit, the entire ocean. Satchidananda is a term that actually includes both prakasha and vimarsha. Sat is pure being, the unchanging awareness that's the same in all places and all things at all time. Chit is the awareness that I am. Ananda is the experience of the awareness of my own being. So I exist, I'm aware that I exist, and the nature of this existence is pure bliss, universal love. Paramatman, the highest self, exists within all of us. And so there are various sort of stages of recognition of that. So I want to differentiate between a state experience and a permanent stage of existence. So as we begin to meditate, we will have certain inner experiences where we experience the state of bliss. It already exists. In fact, meditation is very close to the experience of deep sleep, and we all experience deep sleep. The difference is that as we go deeper into meditation, we remain conscious in this state, so to speak, of deep sleep. So we're aware. We have the feeling of bliss. So it's very likely that when we first begin to meditate, we have these amazing experiences. We become conscious of a part of our being which is the source of bliss, the source of joy. So we continue doing sadhana and go through various stages of spiritual development till we reach a stage where this awareness of the self pervades all three states of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. So at the beginning, we meditate to go into the state of knowing the self, the state of bliss. We continue to meditate to raise our level of consciousness to where this becomes our reset button, that we live in the state of supreme bliss and don't fall from it. So spiritual practice is an uplifting experience. It takes us out of our victimhood and raises us into the awareness of our own divinity. One way of visualizing this is through the model of the chakra systems, that the pure consciousness, the Shakti, is said to reside in the Muladhara chakra, the chakra at the root of the spine, and that spiritual practice is a really short journey of about 3 feet from the base of the spine, where the energy rises and merges in the pure consciousness of Shiva. So we could say that when the Shakti rises, it's a metaphor for the Kundalini energy, the Shakti that's within us, to be lifted up. And as this energy rises within us, we go through progressive stages of supreme bliss, of joy, of love, of self-awareness. So when Swamiji would say, for example, that the Shakti is rising, he meant it on a couple of different levels. One is on an individual level, the Shakti is raising up. It's being elevated into a higher level of consciousness. And at the same time, there's a group energy. One of the reasons that we like to go to satsang, or to be in the presence of a great being, is that we can be uplifted in the presence of a great being. And so when Brahamananda Swami Shankarananda was, for example, having satsang in Ganeshpuri, he offered kirtan every night. And people would come and join in the group consciousness. And the group would be elevated into the awareness of the self. For many, this would be a state experience that they could hold on to for a while, but in most cases it leaked at some point. The idea is to be able to become a strong enough container of this Shakti to maintain the awareness of our own being in all the states, waking, dream, deep sleep, and in samadhi. And to maintain that awareness permanently situated within us, at work, in our relationships, in all the adventures of life. This is what the goal of meditation is to know the self in all situations, in all times, and in all places, and to be firmly established in that. So that if we momentarily forget who we are, or we have an experience that triggers us, we automatically return to the state of pure awareness, pure bliss, pure love. This is the goal. So in the meditation instructions, I encourage people to watch their thoughts, become aware of their thoughts. And it can happen in an instant. Why? Because the self is ever present. It's not like we're going to get the self or attain the self. It's really a process of recognition of something that's always there, but in a subtle form. Because we're so involved in the world, and we're so involved in our inner world of thoughts and emotions and feelings, these experiences tend to veil the essential nature of our own consciousness. So it's possible, and it's happened for many, that in the moment of hearing these teachings of witness your own thoughts, we're able to somehow pull back and watch and just notice the content of our mind, to notice the content of our inner experience. For many, this is a radical discovery of looking at the inner world, that I have thoughts, I have feelings, I have emotions, I have sensations and perceptions. This is a whole new world for many of us because we spend most of our time directed towards the outer world. But it's only by understanding the inner world that we can begin shaping the outer world according to our desires. Once we understand the inner world, we can manifest the reality that we choose to manifest. So to answer the question, yes, it is possible to enter into a state of witness. In fact, let's do that right now. Just close your eyes, turn within, and just notice, what is it that's arising in my experience in this moment? What are you feeling? What are you sensing? Is the mind busy? Is it active? Is it thinking thoughts? Now, who is it that's witnessing these thoughts arising? Can you begin to separate out, differentiate between thinking and witnessing the thoughts? Pull back and just simply observe the content of your experience in this moment. What is it? If you were going to write this down, what are you thinking? Who's aware of the thoughts? What are you feeling? Who is it that's aware of these feelings? This is your own inner consciousness, your own inner self. It's always present. It's always there. It's been there since you were 2 years old, and as a child you had an awareness. I want this, I want that, I don't want this. It's been with us as we've grown older, 15, 18, 20 years old. There's an unchanging awareness of our own being that's native to all of us. And it just requires the intention, the desire to know this inner self and to observe the mechanisms by which we experience our human existence. So let's talk a little bit about attention, focus, one-pointedness. There's a capacity within us to focus the power of the mind on anything that we choose. We all have this ability. I can choose to look here. I can direct my consciousness to hearing. I can direct my consciousness to feeling. And this is a fundamental freedom that we all have, that we're largely unaware of. Most of us go through the day seeing, hearing, thinking, smelling, tasting, doing all these different activities automatically. Meditation teaches us to slow down and to look at the miracle of life. I can choose to put my attention on anything that I choose. I can see, I can hear, I can choose any field of study, any profession. So there's this fundamental freedom that exists within us that we're largely unconscious of. There's a lovely word in Sanskrit that best described it, the word swatantriya. Swatantriya means unimpeded sovereignty, complete free will. Now most of us think of free will as a function of the ego. I want this, I want this, I want to manifest this, No, we're talking about something more fundamental, more subtle than that, that there's an inner decision maker that chooses what to see, what to hear, what to think. And once we recognize this fundamental energy within us, we're free. We can, at that point, choose which thoughts arise, choose where to focus our energy. And at this level of our being, whatever we choose to focus on, we can manifest. The mind has great power. The power of the mind can manifest whatever we can truly conceive and believe, we can achieve. We can manifest the life of our dreams once we're in touch with this inner decision maker. This is an expression of universal consciousness that exists within each of us, that can be experienced directly through meditation. So let me differentiate between state experiences and stages of development. So in meditation, at some point, each of us will experience this inner decision maker. So we get a glimpse of it. We know that it's real. We know that there's a capacity for us to manifest our dreams from this place of consciousness. Now, it does take time to become fully established and to live in that place. Most of us have one of these divine experiences, perhaps of our own consciousness or the expression of our swatantri, our unimpeded sovereignty. But then we return to our regular waking state with our old samskaras, our old patterns, our old habits. So it takes a prolonged period of time. We call this sadhana, a prolonged period of time where we practice on a daily basis, so that we take this state experience and go through various stages of inner development until this awareness becomes permanent. We become established in the awareness and have access to this power at our choosing at any time.